Speaker request forms can be found in the lobby. You can fill them out, give them to the clerk, and we will call upon you if it deals with an agenda item at that point in time, otherwise at the end of the meeting when we have the call to the public. The first item up is a presentation to the Mayor and City Council from Steve Yamamori from Fighter Country Partnership.
We'd like to present to you something for the lobby of the building. It's a F-16 that says, in appreciation, Fighter Country Partnership, the City of Peoria. And if I may, sir?
Certainly. Next on the agenda is a recognition and a visit by the Honorable Terry Goddard, the Attorney General. He is not here yet. He is coming up from Sierra Vista. So we will stop whatever we're doing and do the presentation to Mr. Goddard when he arrives. Next on the agenda is the consent agenda. They will be enacted by one motion unless a council member asks for an item to be removed. Do we have any requests?
Yeah, I would like 1C to be removed. It now says Vice Mayor for a one-year term. It should be as Mayor Pro Tem for a one-year term. I would like that changed in the minutes.
At this time, I'm going to go back to the very beginning of the agenda. Our guest is here for the evening. The City of Peoria has been on the cutting edge in terms of trying to advance the economic health and welfare of everyone who lives in the West Valley. We had a problem out there at Luke Air Force Base. There was essentially homes being built too close to Auxiliary Field 1. We asked the county supervisors to please stop issuing the permits there. They failed to do so. At that time, the Arizona Attorney General, Terry Goddard, stepped forward, brought suit against the supervisors, and we won on all counts. That is nothing to sneeze at. It's obviously extremely important. It's extremely serious. I have asked Terry Goddard, the Arizona Attorney General, would you please come up, Mr. Goddard? I want to present to you a plaque, and it reads, "In grateful appreciation of your exemplary efforts to support the mission of Luke Air Force Base and other military facilities in the state of Arizona, thereby preserving the economic vitality of Peoria and the communities of the West Valley." And I can't thank you enough.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, Mayor, members of the council, thank you. Just doing our job as we see it. And I think I very much appreciate Mayor Barrett's leadership in trying to make sure that, A, the West Side community is held together, and they did an exemplary job of that. And second, that we carried the message back to the Air Force in Washington and had an opportunity to meet with the Secretary and some of his top staff, basically to say, don't worry about this lawsuit because we're on your side. There are some, as you probably know, in Florida, which are challenging some of the Air Force operations, specifically involving the prototype of the F-35. So I want to make it clear that we were supportive of that mission, not hostile. But I think that came through loud and clear from the mayor's presentation and from some of the other efforts that we were able to make clear to them in Washington. I apologize for not being here at the beginning of your meeting so that I could have been in the right order. But I bring you greetings from the Sierra Vista Mayor and Council, where I was a few hours ago. And that's a long drive. So if I look a little haggard, that's the reason. But this is not just a Western Maricopa County issue. Sierra Vista is just as interested in Huachuca and protecting the approaches to that extraordinary defense facility as Yuma is to the Marine Air Station, as Tucson is to Davis Monthan Air Force Base. And we all, I think, in Arizona have an obligation to follow state law. It's an astonishing concept, but one that Maricopa County had a little trouble getting used to. But I think, as the mayor said, with Judge Burke's decision, he basically resolved every issue in our favor. You know, we lawyers find that when we go to court, we seldom win at all. They usually reserve one or two items just so, you know, we won't have bragging rights. But in this case, it was an unequivocal victory for the base and for continued development there. And it is collectively a $9 billion stimulus package that we've got here in our backyard that we need to continue. And by $9 billion, I mean, of course, all the defense facilities, not just Luke. But thank you for your leadership, and I'm very grateful for this. But it is what we do, and hopefully we do it well, and we're delighted to work conjunctively with the West Side cities to make this happen, especially with Peoria. Thank you very much.
The Attorney General will make himself available to the media for a few moments out in the lobby. Comments from the council? No? Yes, Mayor.
I wish that Mr. Goddard, what's his title?
Attorney General.
Attorney General, excuse me. Attorney General Goddard was here. I'm very impressed with his willingness to go to D.C., and thank you, Mayor.
Next up is the call to the public on non-agenda items. According to Arizona open meeting law, and the Attorney General is here, so we really have to conform tonight, it prevents us from speaking about any item that's not on the agenda, and these are non-agenda items. I would caution all speakers, you can say anything you want about the city or its departments. I will not tolerate any personal attacks. Next up is David Carr.
Mr. Mayor, I had, prior to coming up here, asked if I could play a short 3-minute presentation that would really be no complication. And when I was directed by the floor person to the control booth, they said, no problem, and just plug it in up here. And then while I was seated and watching the presentation to our Attorney General and so on, I was informed that I wouldn't be able to do that because there's a PowerPoint presentation that follows me. And this is indicative of the contradicting treatments that I'm forever experiencing with the city. And I deeply regret that that is the atmosphere of concern. Notwithstanding, I've prepared a couple of stills that are of rather difficult resolution to see, and in place I'll use those if that wouldn't be too difficult for this technology that our tax dollars pay for. On April 19th last year, the day following my last appearance before this city council, these two ladies appeared at my door, and they didn't know who they were looking for, saying that they were going to conduct some kind of a mental evaluation. And these two ladies had their credentials, as you can see, reversed. They would not identify who they were. And subsequently, we sent them away and asked them not to continue to trespass and called the Peoria PD. And Sergeant Robertson showed up, or Robinson, I'm not sure, who kindly left and said, see you later, bye. I'm not going to do a report. And so we published the footage of the ladies and him on YouTube. About a month later, on April 18th, 2008, 6 to 8 unknown, still unidentified agents attacked us at our home. Chased us into our home. Another shot of the lady that covers her credentials when you're asking, who are you? Do you have any paperwork? And of course they say no. There's another not so good resolution, but the public is welcome to see all of it and hear all of it on YouTube, along with several hours of recordings of one particular attorney with the city, and that's not a personal attack, it's a fact. This is Miss Michelle Stone facing one of her attackers that threw her into a concrete wall that later was identified without name as being part of the Peoria PD by Sergeant McCulley. Those recorded calls will be published. This is the offending attacker using profanity in his disgust that he didn't capture someone that day, who also attacked myself and Miss Stone. These are two of the others at the door. And then here is Officer David Adams threatening to go and get a tactical team and break the door down 3 days later. On the night of April 18th, which would be the morning of the 19th of April, Peoria Police Department squad cars and SUV vehicles drove up and down the street all night long, shining spotlights in our bedroom windows, preventing us from getting some rest. My arm was nearly broken and bruised from the forearm well past the elbow. And I have filed a notice of claim with this city and with the county and with the state that it, ironic, Mr. Goddard is well aware of. However, the Risk Management Office and Mr. Kemp's office has refused to provide an answer to that claim within the 60 days that we understand it is due.
Sir, your time is up. Please conclude your remarks.
I shall. Mr. Napolitano was well aware of these circumstances and took a position in Washington. I do believe moving this up the chain of command with the U.S. Department of Justice on these civil rights violations is in order. I have come to you humbly to report what has happened. Mr. Police Chief Larry Ratcliffe has been contacted directly but doesn't return calls.
Okay, well, that is certainly your right, and I wish you luck. Thank you for your time.
And would you provide me a response as to who would be responding to my concerns as the rest of the public, Mr. Mayor?
Mr. Ratcliffe will talk to you later.
And would you do that kindly in writing?
I'll think about it. Thank you.
Thank you.